Do it, Jorge. Pull open. And 5, 4. Hey there. Welcome to Mocha in the Morning. I am your host, Miss Keisha Boyd. And this is my lovely co-host, my Capricorn Nature, officially Jorge.
Hola.
Welcome to this week's show. Hi,
Hey,
darling.
look at you. You're all like fresh off the plane.
Yes, honey.
From La La Land.
Yes, West Coast living had a blast.
How exciting.
LA does not owe me a thing. Do you?
How exciting was all that being at the Image Awards, though?
It was amazing.
Your dress was amazing.
Thank you.
The way that camera is panning around your body.
We had a wonderful time, the husband and I, and, work and pleasure. It was beautiful.
That's
we
awesome.
had a really good time.
Well, I want to know more.
Of course you do.
But first,
a little coffee. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ow. Ow.
I love that intro.
Mocha in the Morning is sponsored by Bill Curry Ford.
And we are back with Mocha in the Morning this week. Once again, I'm your host, Miss Keisha Boyd, and this is my lovely co-host.
Hola, buenos dias.
It is the last Friday in our blackity black history month.
Yes,
okay?
but we still gonna be like
blackity black on March 1.
There we go.
That's just no. We black all year long. Okay, anyway. Listen, let's go ahead and kick this steamer block off. What's going on, honey? What you got for us this week?
So, and we've talked about this before. It was like David Schwimmer, right? Tweeting about like Friends is to be like, more inclusive, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Well, they're coming back to prime time.
Who did that?
What? Yes. So go to VanityFair.com. There is going to be a Friends reunion. I would love to see who would be invited to that particular reunion. Like if they live in the same building, is that coffee shop still open? Did it close?
Right.
Do they get a new landlord out of that?
Listen, I know one thing. They should definitely extend an invitation to the persons and the people that made their show happen, those from Living Single.
Yeah.
Particularly Miss Erica Alexander, who plays Maxine Shaw, who we all love on the show. We
totally,
love them all.
Yeah.
But
I want to see Tootie back.
Yes, we want to see,
Khadijah, all that.
All of them to come
Yeah.
back. Like, it would be a very, very good time. But we'll see. I mean, I personally would just love a whole reboot of Living Single.
Yeah.
On its own.
Separate.
On its own.
Yeah, totally.
It was such a great show.
Yeah. Well,
But
anyway, so
we'll
keep an eye out for that because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
Stay tuned for like when it actually does air, right?
Absolutely.
All right. The other thing is, check this out. So Netflix finally dropped the trailer for The Life of Madam C.J. Walker,
Yes.
which was the very first African American millionaire.
Made up on what? Hair, beauty, all that good stuff, honey. Millionaire.
Can't touch this.
Land
Get
edges
hurt.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I think it's so important too, like to keep making, these films and all this, content,
Absolutely.
And so it'd be amazing because a lot of people, they don't know.
They don't.
But they're going to find out.
They're going to find out today. And
a lot of us look really good though because of her too.
Right. Listen, hello, y'all better make sure y'all watch that. My husband and I are also watching Malcolm X. And speaking of NAACP awards, all that good stuff, Malcolm X, they have their own series about who killed Malcolm X on Netflix. But there's a guy, Nigel Hatchett, who plays Malcolm X on Godfather of Harlem. And my husband is a super fan. And he met him this weekend. He was so excited.
Oh, my
goodness. They chatted up, handshakes, hugs,
Terrence was like, rah, on the
right,
inside.
it was
so
cool
cool
fun.
on the outside.
So, yeah, but speaking of, Netflix is doing their thing with making sure that the content is there. So I'm excited to support that.
It truly is. You can take a deep dive into Netflix, and
Absolutely.
there's so much.
Anyway,
so we'll hope. Can't wait to see that. Put that on your watch list. The other things. Okay, so. Dim Democrats.
Dim Democrats. Hey. Lord mercy.
Showed up in South Carolina. And basically, well, according to, go to google.com and you'll see the story on the slate. So, Mr. Bloomberg, right? Mr. Stop and Frisk. Mr. Stop and Mr. NDA agreement. Yeah. Well, he pretty much said he could write a check and just buy this election.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
is he lying? Where's the lie?
Well, you know what's really crazy? That if you stop and think about it, you're like, wait a minute. So now we're saying that, the presidency and probably other government or elected offices, you can just buy it and boom, move it to the neighborhood.
And but you know what? He's trying to buy everybody though.
Yeah.
Especially the black community, because he's spent. Now I will say this. He has spent probably nearly $4 million in black media. That's nothing to him.
Oh yeah,
right? That's like
pocket change.
Pocket change to him.
Yeah, that's soda machine money for him.
Exactly, that's nothing. However, I wish the other candidates would do the same. Right. However, they might not have the same deep pocket.
That's true.
But they still need to support black media too.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's definitely throwing money at things.
Well, the thing is, though, for me, I kind of feel like, if you don't have the money, we totally get it.
Yeah.
But you can make the effort.
And time.
Right? And time. You can still show up,
Correct.
Be there, or when something pops up, and your voice, can make a difference. Not just, not just your coins.
All
Although we
right.
want like both.
Yes. How about that?
So anyway,
Want your time and your money.
Yeah, so one more steamer.
Yes.
And we talked about this before, but finally it has happened. The Whitney Houston hologram tour.
Somebody.
Boom.
I want to feel the
Hey.
heat with somebody.
What? She's been saving all her love for me.
Oh my goodness. I'm excited.
It's America.
I'm excited.
Well, some people are saying it's not right and it's not okay. And then there are some fans who are just happy to
still have
experience
that moment.
it. I know who's happy. Pat Houston.
Huh. Making all this
so anyways, it's making its way all through Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on that side of the pond, check it out. And then they haven't announced U.S. dates.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure, it just seems like they always trial run these things overseas kind of thing, and before it gets here. But I would totally go.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've seen Whitney Houston live, and so I would just go to be like,
no, they didn't get that right. So he's going to be shady. We'll be right back with this week's Piping Hot. Stay tuned right here. Shady boots.
Mocha in the Morning is brought to you in part by the Portico Cafe, where conversation, connection, and community create change.
Hi, Mocha Marvels. This is Kenya Woodard. I'm the president of the Tampa Bay Association of Black Journalists. The Tampa Bay Association of Black Journalists will host its first social event of the year, Wine 101. Come join us on March 11th. It's a Wednesday night to learn more about African American vintners at Del Frisco's. Hope to see you there.
Welcome back to Mocha in the Morning. I'm your host, Miss Keisha Boyd. This is my co-host officially, Jorge.
If only you knew the things we said.
Listen, we have a wonderful show. We have a full house of contributors.
Yes.
Please introduce
They're
the ladies.
all here we are family.
Hey, hey.
I got all my sisters and me.
Okay.
Started with the birthday girl. Hey, Shorty. It's your birthday.
Hey, it's your birthday. Hey, Kia.
I was kicking it with Kia. It's your birthday.
Thank you. Hi.
Hey, girl. Looking good, honey. Looking like a ray of sunshine, honey.
What? And if your pocketbook is not feeling too good, then we have the perfect person to prescribe that financial prescription. Dr. Jen Dobson.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. And of course, my sister in journalism, our sister in journalism, Miss Kenya Woodard, who is the president of the Tampa Bay Association of Black Journalists. Hey, girl. Hey.
She got that whip appeal again.
Always have that hair on lock, honey. Okay, let's jump into this week's topic, coronavirus. Let's talk about that. Because
okay.
All I saw down my timeline have been saying is coronavirus, prepare, coronavirus, teleschool, working's gonna close, and buildings. And I'm like,
well, no, seriously, I feel like this is like a Walking Dead moment.
For real.
You know, and whether like it becomes this like pandemic and everybody, we just need to like always stay woke, yes. Be on alert. And just and make sure that we held our elected officials like, hey, like you got to make sure like we got to get ready for. I don't care whether it happens or not. We still need to be ready.
Yeah.
Because all the scientists and all the doctors, they're like saying like it's gonna happen. Look, it's on how many continents do we have? 7, right? Well, it's on 6.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's just well. Then you have the the administration saying one thing like, oh, we got this, we're on line, we airtight, we got a vaccine in a month. What? And it's like, but people will believe it. That is the problem,
Yeah, my husband is already like, oh, we're preparing for doomsday, we're going to be stocking up on this and that, and if we got to stay in the house, we got to have this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, honey.
Kia, other than birthday cake, how are you doomsday prepping?
So I don't have a lot to say about the coronavirus. I actually just wrote into our group conversation chat that I'll pass on this topic because I don't know enough to be well informed. And I feel whenever there's a pandemic like this, you need to be well informed because it's serious. I know we're not as bad as China or Japan or anything like that, but it is a serious disease. But it also concerns me how people are talking about it. And I feel like we're coming back to the yellow fever era when they used to talk about yellow fever in California about that was like the disease when Asian people came with yellow fever. So I feel like we're back in that, and I don't like any of it.
Okay. How about you, Kenya?
Yeah, it's a huge problem, and as was pointed out earlier this week, things on the federal level may not be on the up and up to combat this issue. So we're seeing some instances where states are kind of taking things into their own hands. The mayor of San Francisco, there are no confirmed cases of coronavirus in San Francisco, but the mayor today has decided that to declare a emergency over coronavirus just in case, because this allows the city to go ahead and start assembling those resources and putting together the pieces necessary just in case there is an outbreak. So, people are taking precautions. It's serious. I saw also on Twitter where there was a possibility that the Olympics in Tokyo could be threatened to, be canceled because of the spread of coronavirus. And, it's really serious. So.
Wow. Now, Jen, I know that you are planning a trip in April, already paid for and everything. What's your update on that?
Yeah, I'm so mad. Because, they're going to hold on to my money. So they did send out an email a couple days ago stating that obviously our trip has been canceled, but that we need to reschedule for next year. So, that kind of sucks because, you're out $1,000 that you're not really going to get back. So,
still get it back. I found out from a friend. You can't get your money back since it's coronavirus related. It'll take a long time for you to get it back, but you can't get your money back in this instance. So.
Right. Yeah. I'll have to really fight it to do it. By the time I get it, I might as well just use it for next year. So I don't know. I haven't really looked into a lot of it other than just, I need to call them and figure it all out. But it's serious in the sense that obviously, nobody wants to die over something like this, especially just to go on a vacation. So I'm taking it serious. But I also have my own concerns about viruses and where they come from and what's going on. And I don't know if you guys saw the S&P 500 Tuesday took a huge hit, went down by like $1.7 billion. And one of those reasons was because of coronavirus. So it's, obviously it's something that we have to consider when we're looking at our finances as well.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
well-
So this is.
But you know what? Like, this is another eye opener, and that's what happens when like the majority of the world, right, takes advantage of of a lot of the Asian countries that have like the worst wages for workers, and of course human rights are like none,
Right.
and so all these big corporations are so dependent on all the manufacturing that's happening there, and so now like if they shut down, we're like, oh no, what's gonna happen now?
Correct. Right.
Anyway,
All right. Well, moving on. Let's talk about something that I'm so excited. So
first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
For actually representing
Yes.
one of the nominees
Yes,
at the NAACP
absolutely.
Image Awards.
It was amazing. Shout out to Michael Kilgore. What's up? Go check out his music and his album, A Man Born Black. Also, one of our local artists here, Nathan Mitchell, was also nominated.
Look at that.
So it was great to go see him. I actually went to a live show that he had out in California too. So it was a great weekend. So NAACP Awards, Image Awards were amazing. I mean, everyone was, it was a great experience for me being on the red carpet with all these great people and artists, entertainers, activists
Right.
as well. Got a chance to meet Matthew Cherry from Hair Love, her, Lynn Whitfield, who I love.
Oh my goodness, you were dying.
Oh my gosh, I was dying. She was so adorable. And Kofi Cereba from Queen Sugar, Ralph Angel, y'all. Ralph Angel, okay.
You were rubbing shoulders with Jill Scott,
And yes, I was right next to Jill Scott.
who's coming to the Bay Area.
Yes, sat at the
Get your tickets.
and ate dinner with Tiffany Haddish afterward.
Boom.
So Lizzo won Entertainer of the Year. Y'all had to realize what that means. Who knew her a year ago, 2 years ago?
I didn't.
I did not.
I just found out about her a couple months ago.
Right. So she just popped on the scene and she's been exploding ever since
Wow.
she hit it. And she is, her energy when she got that award, she was like screaming on the stage, like, let's go. I loved it. And then, of course, Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
And her acceptance speech. Oh, my Lord.
Well, first of all, her purple gown.
Yes, she
Do
was
you
awesome.
think that was a little bit like there was like a tribute in that? Like that specific choice.
I don't know if it's a
L.A.
tribute, but
purple.
maybe. Oh,
everything's
yeah.
going on.
It could have been related to
it was
Kobe's,
gorgeous. She was gorgeous.
Kobe's
I
tribute.
thought about that after the fact. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a very subtle.
And it could have been. I mean, they did a tribute at the show.
Yeah.
Which was great. But she was good. She started out with her speech a little mellow. And then she got into her thing when she was like, yeah, you got friends who like to kick it with you, who like to eat with you, like to break bread with you. Okay, and we out here marching and we protesting. Tell your friends to pull up.
Pull up.
Pull up. Just that simple.
Yeah.
And that was it. She could have dropped the mic and walked away right
Yeah.
there. Because that was it right there. Like, they can do all this. They can hang out and go to the parties. They can do all this. But it's time to make some things happen. Tell them to pull up with you then and see what's up. So I appreciate her. Another great person there, a young person, was Marseille Martin.
Yes.
Marseille Martin racked up. I think she won like 6 NAACP.
And how old is she?
15.
Boom.
I mean, she was in adult categories and won. And one thing to note too is that the NAACP Image Award winners are voted. It's a voting competition. So obviously, Michael Kilgore, for instance, was in a category with Lil Nas X.
Yeah, Lil Nas X.
And Mahalia, Lucky Day, and oh God, it's escaping me. I don't know, one other person. Ari Lennox. So he was clearly the underdog as far as notoriety, but to be nominated was a major thing because he just dropped his album in September.
That's awesome.
So that's amazing. So I look forward to going next year because we will be there next year, and we'll have a good time for sure. And you'll see Mocha in the morning on the red carpet. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call
That's
it.
my favorite
Bam.
color. That's my favorite color of carpet.
Yes.
Ladies.
So, ladies. Kenya, what do you think about the NAACP Image Awards?
I didn't actually watch the actual awards. I did watch Rihanna's speech though, and yeah, it was amazing. If there's anybody that has the guts to call people to the carpet, it's Rihanna, and she did a great job, just putting it forward. Listen, you say you want to be our allies, show it. So I think it was great. And it was also good to see Marsai Martin win her awards, and for her to say that she felt seen, that was really, really great. I had the pleasure of interviewing her some years ago before she's gotten all grown up, and it's just so good to see how far she's come. So I loved all the highlights. I thought it was probably one of this year's best awards, so I'm going to have to go back to YouTube and watch the full show.
Awesome. Kia?
I think it's great the NAACP awards are around. My whole thing with Lizzo isn't new to me. I've known about her for at least 2 years, because what happens, like all the popular songs everybody likes now, they added on to her current album as a deluxe album. Those are the songs that have gone a hit, but she is an amazing entertainer. I mean, she plays multiple instruments right, and she sings, and she dances. She's performed at so many things, so I think it's fantastic. Shout out to all of the winners.
Amazing. All right. So let's move on. Kobe Bryant fans.
Yeah.
Now, the fans are not happy that Vanessa Bryant did not mention Pam and Joe Bryant, his parents, in the memorial service. Now, I think that there are people who feel differently about this, one side or the other. Personally, I'm not a super duper Kobe fan. However, I do pay attention to some things. I hardly ever see his parents pop up or anything with him, pictures, any of that. Like, they're not in the spotlight like that. And I don't know what their relationship was, how it was. I do know that some people say they never favored Vanessa for him. But at some point, that's not going to matter.
Right.
What you feel or favor. If your son or daughter is happy with someone and they're deciding to make this life, you have to just let that be, because they're adults. So this is interesting to me.
I think that all y'all out there that feel some kind of way need to mind your own business, because that's somebody's husband, father, cousin, child. You don't know what's going on in their family. So
Right.
I would just suggest that pay your respects by not being disrespectful and letting the family grieve however it is that they grieve. Who is anybody to start judging just because they didn't do it your way or you have a
Correct.
difference in opinion? If
Correct.
you love Kobe and mind your own business. How about
That's
that?
right. Dr. Jen, did you take a look at the tribute? What do you think about it?
I only saw snippets because I'm not really, I don't see a lot of, stuff, but I will say that, there is a lot of talk about his parents not being mentioned, his parents not being involved. And we never really know for sure exactly what was going on in their family dynamic. But I will say though that, it is possible that the parents were just not, the best parents for providing some type of emotional support and things like that for Kobe and his wife, and that's unfortunate. But we see toxic parents all the time. I've gone through that in my life. I had toxic parents. Still deal with toxicity in a lot of ways, and sometimes we have to keep our parents kind of at bay, and doesn't mean that we love them less or anything like that. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what was going on.
Kia.
Okay, so me and Kenya talked about this in our group conversation previously, but what actually has happened, and again, I have somewhat forefront knowledge from years ago, they did not care for Vanessa, and when he got married, they were very upset about it because they didn't have a big wedding ceremony. I think they eloped to Italy the last time, story I heard about it, and he is a definition of leave and cleave. When his parents had an issue with Vanessa, and it continued, he basically made the decision that, all right, cool, I'm married now, I'm going to stand by my wife. And that's seen to this conversation. And the relationship never got back to normal. It never got back to normal. Even after her having all these beautiful girls, I think they were kind of distant grandparents, but they didn't go to events. They didn't talk all the time. They just never reconnected after he made a decision. If you're not going to like my wife, then I love you, but y'all stay over there. And you can't fault him for that. You also can't fault them a little bit, I feel like, because they've been married for so long. I could see if they were married for a couple of years and tried to file for alimony. They were married good, bad, and ugly literally for 20 years. Y'all should have been got over that.
Right. Exactly. That's how I feel about that. All right, so remembering Katherine Johnson,
Right?
the mathematician who we are familiar with from the movie Hidden Figures.
Yes.
Yes. With Taraji and Janelle Monáe and Octavia Spencer. That was an amazing movie.
Yeah.
She was an amazing person. And, she absolutely impacted our culture. Kenya, I know that you are familiar with Miss Katherine Johnson.
Yeah, she's one of my heroes, and rest in peace to her. I can't, oh man, such a great legacy she's leaving behind. We had, her story put into book format and then into the movie, and so she's now among the greats. What we know about her and her contribution to the space program, it would not have happened the way that it has without her. She's key to a lot of significant moments in the history of that program. So I'm just, my heart is so full knowing that we kind of share the same space at the same time, if you will, knowing that she was alive during the same time I was. That's just kind of cool, and I'm so grateful to know about her and her story.
And this is like, look, talk about the math that had to be done. And that was
Right.
all like on a chalkboard
Yes.
and no computer, no calculators, just
Brain.
woo,
We're
goodness.
definitely honoring her this Black
Yeah.
History Month for sure.
Yeah, she in space now though.
Absolutely. Resting.
She's out of this world.
All right. Lark Voorhees.
Oh,
Now, she has
yes.
been making some headlines sporadically over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a Saved by the Bell reboot.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to be a part of that.
Yeah. Well, she was recently on Dr. Oz, and I happened to watch that episode. I was like, I put the brakes on. Wait a minute. Oh, hey.
That's Lark.
Yeah. And so,
That's Lisa.
well, and I found out some interesting stuff about her. Like, for instance, first of all, we all know she was the biggest star on that show, right?
Love
That's the
some
only reason why I watched it.
Zach.
Yeah, and so and what's interesting that people don't realize that that Zach, that character, he's a biracial kid.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, she had a relationship with a gang member. Then her mother supposedly outed her with being bipolar, and so she was supposed to be on Dr. Oz like over a year ago, right?
Wow.
They had planned this out, but apparently she just wasn't right. And I guess Dr. Oz wanted to give her the time and space and the help that she needed to get to a place where she could, be on the show and just be present. Mm-hmm. But meanwhile, the cast of Saved by the Bell is like doing their thing. And I don't think they have any plans on including her in this situation. I kind of feel like they all were in school together. You're not going to reach out and try to, meanwhile, right?
Kia,
I mean,
girl, help us understand.
Okay.
I mean, at least she wasn't in Showgirls.
Did anybody else notice that Screech is also not a part of this because of his mental illness as well? Neither one of them are a part of it, so it's not a black thing. They just don't want, for Screech, when he is going through his stuff, he becomes very volatile, and they said that throughout other times they've had the show. He becomes volatile, aggressive, starts playing pranks on people, and it ruins the set. Same thing with Lark Ward. She wasn't violent, but they don't want to add stress on these people who are already going through mental stress, which I agree with. So let's stop making it a black thing, and it's a mental illness thing in general, because neither one of these people were asked to come back for this reboot.
Wow. Okay. Didn't know that. But that's a
Look
very
at
good point. Dr. Jen?
Oh, Kenya.
Kenya, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She had her hand up. That's not South Carolina, honey.
Go ahead, Kenya.
I agree with Kia. I don't think it's a black thing. Unfortunately, I do think it is, it's a stigma against folks who suffer from mental illness. Now, that said, I can understand where producers are, kind of leery about having them on set. But at the same time, a lot of these actions that occurred were years ago, especially with the guy that played Screech. She got into some really big trouble, but it's been like over 10 years. And so I'd like to think that, these people have been vetted since, and, maybe perhaps it just wasn't a good fit still. I'd hate to think that they were excluded based on things they did a dozen years ago.
Yeah, but it certainly it looks like that may be the case. For sure, unfortunately, but hey. Jen?
Yeah, I mean, it's business. I mean, and it's unfortunate, but I don't think it's a black or white thing either. I think it is a mental health issue. And unfortunately, in this country, we don't know how to deal with mental health yet. We haven't learned how to do that. So they're protecting their brand. They're trying to make sure that it's a smooth process. And I kind of get it. So, I can't really fault them for that.
Yeah, well, I think as creative as Hollywood can be, they can find a way to be a little bit more inclusive, and to be a little bit more sensitive, to her, mental health issues kind of thing. I mean, maybe she could be like living in Europe and she calls everybody like on Skype and like she's, on there for
something.
like, 10-second clip.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, she was like
a major part of the
yeah,
show.
she was like, if not one of the biggest stars of the show, period.
Well, listen, hopefully they'll correct that.
Yeah.
Black Twitter.
Yes.
Is having their day with the Red Table Talk clip with Snoop Dogg and Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, Jada says to Snoop that, hey, when you cursed Gail out, I felt like you were cursing me out and all the other black women out. You were out of line. And some people are dragging Jada, saying, how could you take Gail's... Basically, they're saying that the Red Table Talk and Jada are taking the side of Gail King, and that, Snoop is right in what he did. It certainly depends on who you're talking to. It's subjective, and it depends. Like, personally, when I saw that clip, I was like, damn. Like, he went all the way in. Like, hold on, brother. Hold on. Like, my goodness.
You was about ready to call the dog catcher in a minute.
The dog pound somebody. Come help him. I mean, it was a lot. It was pretty. But I mean, it was messy. It was complicated. It was passionate. It was all of those things. Was it right or wrong? It really depends on how you look at it. Should he ever talk to women like that? I don't think he should. No. Do I feel like he was talking to me? No. But I do feel like he definitely quickly had to get himself together.
I think it's kind of funny. Like, he's Snoop Dogg, and she's Gail King.
Yeah.
I would think that they would have each other's phone numbers. Like, wouldn't you just call your girl and be like, yo, Gail? Like, I'm pretty sure they could find a way to communicate with each other, right?
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
The other thing is
the producer says levels to this, that he might not have been on that level.
Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to defer to my wife on this situation.
Well, how about we defer to Kia first? Kia, what do you think about this in the Red Table Talk?
It was very weird for me because, again, we talked about this on last week's show, how, he went overboard in his comments because he did go overboard. But it wasn't Red Table Talk worthy. He'd already apologized. I thought it should have been done there. And if she was going to do the show, why not have Gail and him on and have like a real conversation where he could have said, this is why I felt this way. Gail, this is what I meant, da, 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 and have a real conversation. Saying that all black women felt like he was talking to us, I didn't feel like he was talking to me. I don't think nobody in the show thinks she felt like that. Like that's not what I don't know. It was stupid. It was a waste of time.
Well, okay. What do you think about it, Jen?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I love the show, generally speaking. I think that, Snoop Dogg went overboard, like extremely overboard in his comments. But just like everybody else said, I didn't feel like he was talking to me. I didn't feel like it was a slight to all black women or all women. I felt like he was just pissed at Gail, and he should have had a direct conversation with Gail. And it should have ended at that. I didn't think it was necessary to have on the Red Table at all, but whatever. But it's a good show, and it's nice to see that they're having those types of open conversations on the show, but I don't think it was necessary in this situation.
All right, Kenya, you want to round us out?
Yeah, well, listen, here's the deal. I still stand by the theory that had it been Martha Stewart that said something, I'm not so sure she would have got called the same name. But anyway, let's move on. So maybe, it wasn't a thing that, was a reflection of all black women. Okay, whatever. But there's also the concern now that Red Table Talk is becoming like a Stop 'em the Apology tour, for Black men when they screw up. So there was a blog post on a site called Fabulize where the writer Erica is like, what's going on, Jada? There's supposed to be a safe space for Black women, and now you've got these men coming on. Snoop put on a blazer and some eyeglasses, and he's all polished up, to kind of further his case. And as Kia pointed out, maybe having Gail and Snoop on at the same time would have made for a better show. We would have actually had some dialogue and kind of got down to the nitty gritty of the matter. But I don't blame Snoop actually for doing what he has to do to protect his coins. So if he's got to apologize over and over, okay.
True.
Well, I think we're gonna extend an invitation to Snoop Dogg, Gail, and Jada to have to add a little flavor to our morning blend.
Absolutely.
And maybe we can talk it over together.
Right.
So.
All right, Bill Cosby has someone to post a message of encouragement to Harvey Weinstein after his guilty verdict.
Prison pen pals.
Prison pen pals.
Already.
Like, really? I don't even have many words to say about this. Like, I don't know. I'm just Kia.
Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein can kiss my entire Black used to be flat butt. It makes absolutely no sense that you are riding from jail for a man who has had multiple women like you accuse him. This ain't got nothing to do with him not having a fair jury. It ain't got nothing to do with people not being sequestered. You got big nerves sitting there supporting him. Boy, no. This is. I'm about to cuss, and I know we can't on this show no more, but I'm done. We're not talking about Bill Cosby no more on this show, no matter what happens. He can hang himself tomorrow, and I wouldn't care. I'm done.
Well, tell us how you really feel, Kia. All right. Well, Dr. Jen.
Well, I mean, I have to agree with Kia 100% on this one. To me, it just seemed like why would he do that? It just made Bill Cosby look even worse. I mean, we already know he's guilty, but at least pretend like you care. Like, pretend like you care about women and rights and but it was just like, by the way, I'm on your team, Weinstein. And it seemed I was baffled. I was baffled that he did it. I can't believe it. And if he's going to even have an opportunity to get out of jail sooner, I think this makes it harder for him to do. I just thought it was crazy.
Well,
I'm just, I'm going to quote Eddie Murphy. So, who's America's favorite dad now?
Well then, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
The South Carolina Democratic Party, or primary actually, will be decided by who?
Black women.
Black women rock. Yes. If anything, black. If anything, everybody knows. If anything needs to get done, ask a black woman to do it. Okay. Just ask a black woman to do it. If she can't do it, she's gonna find out the best way to get it done. Either way, it's still gonna get done. So listen. South Carolina was very interesting, by the way.
Yeah.
The election, because your boy Mike Bloomberg.
Yeah. He think it's right.
So he can write a good check and get the whole primary done. I don't know.
Yeah,
can you talk to us about this primary and Mike Bloomberg and black women being a huge factor?
Super Tuesday is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Mike's got the money, no doubt, right? Billionaire guy. He could literally buy up all the ad time in the state for the next month or whatever. But here's the deal. Black women are going to decide this primary, and they are not behind Bloomberg. So, he can try it if he would like. It'll be a waste of money. He might want to set his sights on the next primary because South Carolina is pretty much a wrap for Biden. Earlier this week, the ex-vice president was up by 18 points over the next candidate, who I think was Sanders. So, I mean, there's no way you're going to overcome that gap. You can buy all the ads you want to, but the deal is that black women in South Carolina, black Democratic women, especially in South Carolina, have already determined that this primary is going to turn out in favor for Joe Biden. And that was decided a long time ago. So, any kind of inroads you try to make now to make up for that, you're about, maybe a year and a half behind.
Yeah, it's kind of like the contest starts now.
Or it started a long time
Yeah.
ago. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I think that's a wrap. What do you think on that?
I think that's a lot.
Yes, it was. Ladies, thank you so much.
Ow, I need a refill.
We love you all. We'll see you next week. Kid, have a great birthday, girl.
Happy birthday, girl.
All right, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our Mocha Minute.
She said she's done.
Done, honey.
We can't, don't be giving us some stories with that man in it.
Huh. No 40 pounds enough.
Hey there, are you enjoying Mocha in the Morning? Well, we're so glad that you are. We want your friends and family to enjoy it too. So please invite them to join us live on Fridays and also to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. The 51st NAACP Image Awards was nothing short of amazing. From walking the red carpet with my client Michael Kilgore, meeting some of my favorite actors, actresses, entertainers, and creatives, to spending time in La La Land and celebrating my 5th wedding anniversary with my husband. We had a wonderful time. We look forward to all of the Black excellence continuing through the next year, and we will be there once again in 2021. Your Mocha Minute is brought to you by blackinthebay.com, your online connection to everything that's Black in the Bay. Stay tuned for more Mocha in the Morning, where we're adding a little flavor to your morning blend.
Hello, Mocha Marbles. This week's Mocha Moment features our very own producer's baby sister, Phoebe Davis, and her new husband, Albert Nuke Floyd. Take a look at this lovely bliss.
Aw, newlyweds.
Struck down by a bolt of lightning when you came and knocked me to the floor. One look got my senses unwinding, makes me only want you more. Catch my breath, gotta get my cool on. She's the jam that I wanna hear again and again. Tell the DJ play an old Marvin Gaye song and never let the music end. I wanna hold you closer, feel your body, feel your soul. Wanna keep on swaying, baby, it feels so out of control. Got my heartbeat racing, I'm loving everything that you do. Yeah, you make me crazy, I won't ever stop making you crazy too.
Mocha in the Morning Show. It has been a blast. Oh my gosh, we had so much to talk about. We had so much to cover, and it was all good. Once again, happy birthday, Kia. Whoop whoop. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Bill Curry Ford, Black in the Bay, The Portico. Thank you all of our fans, those who watch, our viewers. And please don't forget, share the show. Let people know to tune in with you every Friday at 10 a.m. Share the show, host a watch party, whatever you need to do. But don't hold all this flavor to your own way. Everybody else needs a little flavor too. You know? Add. And vote, South Carolina. Come on, we need these. Come on, South Carolina.
We just need you to vote, period.
We just need you. Come on now. Listen, we will see you out and about around, bringing you more of great coverage and content. Make sure that you follow us on all of our platforms, Mocha Morning Show.
Are they going to cut us off? Look, she's like, rolling credits already. Look, there's a credit right there in front of my face. Look, that is.